Hey everyone, welcome to Lizzie's Little Library and the Newbery Project. Today's book is the 2014 winner called Flora Ulysses by Kate DiCamillo. It is the author's second Newbery win. She had previously won for Despereaux, the story of a little mouse, and she is the most recent two-time winner. I actually had started this book a few years ago, not realizing it was a Newbery winner. I had picked up a duplicate copy which did not have the Newbery seal on it, and yeah, I didn't love it at the time. I set it aside after fewer than 20 pages, but we've reached that point in the Newbery series, so here we go again. The story begins with the Tickham family and a super powerful vacuum named Ulysses. Mrs. Tickham loses control of it, and it vacuums up a squirrel. Flora, the next-door neighbor, a little girl, sees it happen and runs outside to save the squirrel. After he is saved, he is bald but has super strength. For example, he can hold the vacuum over his head. She's inspired by the name of the vacuum and calls the squirrel Ulysses. Flora's parents are divorced. She lives with Mom, who writes romance novels on a typewriter, and Mom is obsessed with a lamp shaped like Little Bo Peep, or some similar generic character. She also seems to not notice a lot of what Flora does. Flora brings the squirrel back into the house, and the first night he eats an entire bag of cheesy snacks and uses the typewriter to write, "I am Ulysses, born anew." Flora assumes he's a superhero, and she frequently mentions the Incandesto comic series that she has read with Dad. So far, she comes across as an inferior version of Ramona Quimby, mixed with Junie B. Jones. I definitely hope she leans more towards Ramona, because Junie B. is a character we all could have done without. A new character enters the story, the neighbor's great-nephew, William Spiver, who insists on being called by both names. He wears dark glasses, telling everyone he's temporarily blind. Flora's dad comes to get her for the day. They go to the diner, his apartment, and then he takes her home. Mom had asked him to take care of the squirrel, meaning kill it, but he doesn't. He doesn't seem to do much of anything but introduce himself to everyone, even people he already knows. Flora decides this must be a superhero comic come to life. Ulysses is the superhero, and Mom is the villain of the story. She is Ulysses' archenemy. That night, the entire story, by the way, happens in 2 days. Mom takes Ulysses out of the house with nefarious plans for him. He manages to escape and somehow gets to Dad's apartment building. Flora, meanwhile, has woken up her neighbor at 2 a.m. to save her. The car runs out of gas, and they start walking while carrying the lamp. The stories all converge, and they live happily ever after, I guess. The end. I didn't really like this book. I didn't like Flora as a character. She kept calling herself a cynic, but she didn't really do anything that was cynical. It seems like she had heard that word and liked how it sounded, but didn't really understand its definition. She reminded me a lot of Karen Brewer, which is never a good comparison. She constantly said, "Holy Bagumba," and "for the love of Pete." And I find it really annoying when characters constantly repeat nonsensical phrases like these. Not to mention, squirrels are gross and disease-laden. It should have been outside. I also didn't like how Mom spoke each single word as its own sentence. "Have you lost your mind?" Flora's mom said. That's not even a strong word to be on the verb tag. Said is so ubiquitous and doesn't say anything. And that's just really a writing pet peeve of mine when sentences are written with each single word as a sentence. Just say it, emphasize it, use a stronger verb tag, but don't break it up into 5 separate sentences. And after having read this book, it unfortunately reinforces my thoughts I had after reading Despereaux, that I don't think this author deserves to be a 2-time Newbery winner. This book felt like it was trying too hard. It was trying to be funny and sentimental and both a novel and a comic book and a superhero story and a vocabulary lesson. And it was just all too much. I wish it would have focused on one thing and really done that one aspect well. There were 4 honor books this year called Doll Bones, The Year of Billy Miller, One Came Home, Paperboy. The next winner is The Crossover by Kwame Alexander. I'll get that one posted soon enough. This one, I don't really recommend it, and I can't really recommend Kate as an author despite her 2 Newbery wins. So go ahead and skip this one, and I'll get my thoughts posted for The Crossover next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.